Welcome back to the FloGrappling Show, a.k.a. the worst show on the internet. As always, I'm Trey Robinson. We got Joey Gilps over there, Uncle Reed right there, and then Big Slack Barrett on the ones and twos. So we're coming off of a big weekend in the jiu-jitsu world. A lot of sick events going on over this past weekend. We're going to kind of focus in on two major ones, WNO 29 and BJJ Stars 16. I know we had a lot of other sick ones going on FloGrappling and stuff, so maybe we'll try and give some cliff notes towards the end about those events, but we're going to focus on recapping kind of two of those major ones, and I think you guys know where we got to start. All right, this is the throw that shocked the world, the one that had everybody watching and almost has 1 million views on Instagram. And this is kind of like a little bit of the dynamic whenever someone hosts some of these absolute brackets, and specifically when you have someone like Fabricio Andre in an absolute bracket. So we're going to look at this BJJ Stars 16 clip to start of Javier Zeruski versus Fabricio Andre. And I mean, this is just absolutely electric, but this is why you need Fabricio in absolutes and stuff. This is the big throw he hit here. You guys saw this one?
Oh, yeah.
I think, Joe, you were doing commentary on
it? English commentary, me and Corey Stockton. And this was a nuts match. You knew the moment that Fabricio was entered into this bracket that this is the kind of stuff we were looking for, right?
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm trying to track it down here.
No worries. Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, so, from when this thing was initially announced, I think we all knew that having
gonna look at Slack's
desktop
personal folders. What was that taxes 1927 thing? There's no way you were doing taxes back then.
1927. No, but yeah, ever since this BJJ Stars 16 was announced, we knew that having Fabricio in this absolute bracket was going to kind of make for some viral clips, make for some incredible jiu-jitsu. And Fabricio Andre, man, he did not disappoint. Had a great first match here with Javier Zeruski. Had a great match against Pedro Mourinho here, but
I can't find it.
It's like around 1 minute 30, 1 minute 40. Just take it to 2 minutes.
I switched to our site and it's got different timestamps. So
yeah, just take the match to around 2 minutes and then let it play, or even 3 or whatever.
Yeah, he was looking for that ankle pick all night, but
yeah, here you see one of the earlier attempts right there of him trying to throw. It seemed like Fabricio had a game plan. Fabricio knew the cheat code. As long as you can just throw a big boy whenever you're a 66-kilo guy, I mean, it's going to make waves in the world.
Yeah, you can get sponsors and seminars off of off of throwing a big dude.
Even that's like kind of a nice little takedown there. But you know who's got to be feeling really smart after seeing this performance is Lachlan Giles.
100%.
For putting Fabricio as their 66 wild card for the CJI team, because he's gonna have to go out there and fight like a Michael Pixley or something. Actually, that would
it might be best case scenario for Fabricio to go out there against a heavyweight or a 99 guy.
I think I just realized that I really need to see Fabricio and Michael Pixley just lock up in over-unders and figure it out.
See what happens.
That would be a sick match, yeah.
I mean, I think if you send Fabricio out and, no matter who he gets, there's a solid chance he doesn't get submitted, and a slimmer, but
Here we go.
Underhook.
The boom.
He wins.
Oh,
yeah, dude.
Just too good.
What's the name of that throw, Joe? Do you know?
Some people might call it a Harai Goshi. To me, it's an Ogoshi. Just basically a big hip toss, major hip toss. Steps in with that right underhook, gets his hip to the inside, loads him up. Look at how he uses his right leg and lifts it up in the air like he's hiking it up.
Yeah.
That really continues that hip pressure going and moving, especially as the smaller guy. So much power. Great control with the left hand on the wrist. Unbelievable technique from Fabricio. You see Zeruski, I think, just kind of windpipe crushed. Vader choked his way back up there. Yeah, just absolutely unreal. And I think Fabricio gets back to business.
Let's see it a couple more times. It's too good not to watch 20 times on this podcast here.
Yeah, that's a good thing I think you pointed out there, Joe, because you can see he's going, and then you do see his right leg, and it just really is what turns Zeruski over and throws him hard.
100%. There's little timing things and all that, but I think technically between 1 and 2, that right leg is the
yeah, the way he catches that kind of second leg or first leg,
hikes his hip up in the air.
Yeah, just so slick. I love how he just keeps those the fingers interlocked, right? And you can see
with his left hand.
Yeah. You can see Zeruski kind of go to post, and then just doesn't have it. Man, obviously Zeruski is a beast here.
Black belt world champion.
Yeah, black belt world champion. So it's it's not even that Fabricio is doing this on anybody, man. He's doing this on a black belt world champion. So
he hits it again here, and they kind of go out of bounds.
Yeah, it looks like Zeruski's kind of going for an outside trip, and then
that underhook.
Oop.
Oh,
Right into mount.
oof.
Dude, Fabricio's
Just
so sick.
so dirty. You can watch these all day. We're starting standing rounds tonight, boys. Like
Is there anything sweeter than just hitting a clean judo throw?
right into mount
Yeah.
too. Like just against the guy who weighs 100 pounds more than you. Like, oh man.
Yeah, so obviously this one from Fabricio was electric. Like, was this the first match of the
It was
GP
the first
also?
match. No, it wasn't the first match of the GP, but it was the
Second
first
one.
round. Yeah.
Second, okay, yeah. But yeah, this is the first round of the GP. So obviously Fabricio, Javier had first round matchups. What were the other ones? It was
The very
Isom.
first match was Yatan upsetting Cyborg. Heisem then scored a big submission win over Eli Braz, and Pedro Mourinho, who would go on to win the event, had a pretty good scrap with Devontae Johnson as well. It was a great tournament. It was a great first round, especially, I thought.
Yeah, obviously we got to talk about Pedro, the guy who ended up winning the bracket, but I thought Pedro looked incredible the whole way through, right? I mean, it's no secret. Sometimes we see a cagey Pedro go out there and just like win the collar ties and just kind of beg someone to shoot on him and finally try something, but a lot of times it doesn't go anywhere. And this one, I thought we saw Pedro being a lot more active, like doing stuff himself. And Devontae, he like jumped a flying armbar and stuff too. You know, he was kind of doing all kinds of wild stuff. I thought this was a great display of jiu-jitsu from Pedro Mourinho.
I 100% agree. To me, this was like maybe the best Pedro Mourinho I've ever seen. This took me back to this is the final against Yatan. Yatan was able to beat Cyborg, which was a crazy good win, and then beat Heisem right after that. Those are two ranked guys. Yatan going to be ranked in the top 10 at heavyweight next time we update those rankings, which is a little later this week. Look at this submission. Ooh, goes to spin, but it is too
It's
much.
over.
Pedro Mourinho, 100,000 Hey Richer, BJJ Stars Grand Prix champion. Known for his arm-in guillotine, switches off to a high-wrist guillotine to get the tap. And I think that's especially so technically interesting because I think Yatan spun still thinking it was an arm-in. And that's a valid defense for an arm-in. But if that's a high wrist, that's kind of the worst thing you could do. It puts you even deeper into it. That's what you saw happen. Incredible work from Pedro.
Yeah, I think Yatan definitely did impress me. You know, he was kind of on like what a 1 week's notice into this thing. So he was a late replacement. Obviously, these guys are always training and always ready to go. But I was definitely impressed at just how ready Yatan was, and he had some big wins there. And you know, was looking pretty good in this match as well up until the very last minute there. Yeah, where it seems like Pedro kind of does dare these guys to shoot in. Obviously, we know he's got such a good guillotine. And he was kind of daring Yatan to sit in there.
You see him kissing it there?
Kissing the
Go back a
guillotine
little.
wrist. Kissing the wrist.
He's like, look at that, dude.
That gets me out of...
Golden wrist, yeah.
This one's for style. This one's for necks.
The
There it is.
style, that's what we're calling it these days.
The golden wrist right there.
Oh, then he pulled out the blicky
He's
on him,
looking
dude.
through all of them,
He's
yeah.
going nutso mode.
Just emote. Hit all of them. Left keypad, right keypad, bottom keypad.
Dude,
up keypad.
Pedro's a beast, though. Obviously not the biggest dude in the bracket. You know?
Yeah,
He's like,
second smallest
even Yatan
after
is
Fabricio.
much bigger than him. It feels like.
yeah, it's like Pedro, he's the 205 WNO champ, but like really I feel like he's like a 185 guy, you know? Obviously he does both, but he seems like he could easily just be a 185 guy. But like, yeah, looked like a
Or
beast.
a heavyweight guy, I guess.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I mean, he is 2021, right? Nogi World double gold.
Yep.
Heavyweight and
Absolute,
yeah. Beat
Victor
Cyborg
Hugo
and Wagner
and-
Hosha in the finals of that one, I believe.
Sure did. That was a crazy run.
Yeah, so Pedro looked like a beast. Overall, BJJ Stars was pretty
Could I
sick
point
of it.
out one thing that Pedro was doing really well to help open some of that up, and what I thought was like, so technically, I think that something that really helped Pedro in this event was how much he was going for upper body takedowns, duck unders, arm drags, things like this. He was kind of spamming those over and over again, and that was kind of forcing guys to shoot because they can't engage in the upper body anymore like they were when he was just kind of doing this collar tie thing and pushing and pulling. Now, every time you're collar tying with him, it is like genuinely a chance you're going to get taken down. Well, I guess I got to start shooting. And when people start shooting, you start seeing what happens.
Yeah, had some very legit takedown attempts on Fabricio Andre.
That's what I wanted to say, yeah.
I don't think he got the points, but he did at least take him down to like turtle, and then Fabricio was able to scramble back to his feet like 2 or 3 times, I feel like, in that match. So definitely Pedro was putting the takedowns on Fabricio.
One of those ones in the gym, you're like, but I took you down.
Yeah,
I got you down.
exactly. If that's in the gym, that's a takedown.
Yeah, if we're going to like first takedown in the gym, it's like, okay, we got to stand back.
Yeah.
For sure. So, yeah, I mean, shout out Pedro. Some of the other stuff
Yeah,
that
big
went down. A-Rod and Julia Alves, right? Julia Alves ended up getting the win in that one.
Bit of a controversial
one.
match there. Yep. But
talk through what happened for the controversy.
Sure. The controversy was a very close match, 7 minutes only. IBJJF rules with some modified stalling. And A-Rod was in the over-under. She was trying to pass. She was trying to go to one side, trying to go to the other side, working her feet over and over and over. And in the final 10 seconds in a tied match, they gave A-Rod a penalty, which swung the match for Julia. Julia didn't have very much offense. She spent the majority of the match retaining her guard, and Anna spent the majority of the match putting pressure from the top. Not the most dynamite match, didn't light up the scoreboard by any means. But I think, especially considering we had seen in the last match a very similar strategy not get penalized.
That was Helena and
Toledo. Toledo just sat on top for a long time with her elbows in, right?
Yeah.
If you're not going to call that, I don't think it was very consistent to call Anna, especially when it really did look like Anna was trying to put some pressure on and pass.
Especially the last 10 seconds.
Last 10 seconds, it's going to go to decision. You could just decide it on decision if it's like that. You know what I mean? If you think she was stalling that bad, then just give it to Julia on decision. But I didn't think it was the call I would have made. And I really hope that we see a rematch for them in a longer match, too. I wanted to see, another 2-3 minutes of that to really see what they could get cooking. That's what we ended up with.
Anna not very happy.
She was mad at
it.
it.
She was very, very angry about that one. It definitely was a tough call for sure.
A-Rod can get scary when she's mad, dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a ref.
Intense.
I wouldn't want to be a ref for sure.
I feel like that brings up an interesting point. Going back to talking rule sets and timing and what is the best rules, what's the best time. I do think one thing that makes BJJ Stars such a sick event, we've talked about it before. BJJ Stars is one of my favorite events to watch. It's one of my definitely favorites to be there in person. It's such an electric environment in Brazil on these super fight shows. But the times of these matches, in the Nogi Grand Prix, it's 7 minutes also, right?
Yes.
I believe the 7 minutes Nogi Grand Prix is great. I think that's a great time. Kind of the mixed ADCC rules. It just really keeps things going, keeps the action flowing. If something is boring, then it's it's not too much longer. Same with ADCC trials and stuff, where it's just 6 minute matches. It's just cooking the whole time. All right, this one's getting boring, but I know it's going to be over soon. Move to the next. Then you throw in a 7 minute gi match, and I'm kind of definitely it can still get boring, but it also, you don't see those late in the match, changing of the tides, and where someone finally does figure it out and they get past someone's guard, and now it's making stuff happen, where it almost feels I don't know if 7 minutes is enough time for a black belt match to work. It makes me feel maybe the full IBJJF 10 minutes is the way, but I don't know. Do you guys have any takeaways on that, kind of watching the event or anything?
I think we see that a lot with AJP. I think that AJP runs a lot of black belt matches that are, I think, 5 minutes, and you're way more likely to see upsets in AJP compared to IBJJF when you consider what maybe some of the true skill level is. You know what I mean? Just you'll see some crazier results because it kind of becomes a judo match. It's one move, one position really ends up deciding it. It's really hard to get a lot of back and forth when the people are particularly skilled. You saw that when Helena fought Toledo came out. She scored real early with that single leg, and in 7 minutes was able to just manage things from there.
Yeah, Helena had a good kind of a sweep attempt late, but they ended up going kind of off the mat and then getting reset. And so I do think even when I was watching that match, I was kind of oh man, I kind of do wish there was more time on the clock. Who knows? Maybe we would have just seen more of the same. But it does feel especially in those black belt gi matches, that things start to open up around that 6 minute mark, and then the match is kind of over. So
yeah, it's obviously a main card WNO match is 15 minutes, and no doubt, we can have some stinkers in a 15-minute WNO match as well, just a boring match for the full 15 minutes. But it'd be interesting to look at these matches and figure out what portion of the match is most of the action happening, because it does feel a lot of the times, even in WNO, it can start out for 6 minutes of collar ties and just kind of boring stuff, and you're oh man, it's gonna suck. But then the last 7-8 minutes is electric, and you see a guy take a guy's back, him escape, then enter the legs, and it kind of go back and forth. So I don't know. It's still there's not the perfect solution out there, but it is interesting to see kind of how all these different events are pulling in different aspects of it. And
yeah, we get to see all sides of it, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 15 minutes, points, no points. We do get to see all of it pretty much. Yeah, rounds. It's
there is at this point, there's enough jiu-jitsu events and promotions that it's like you can kind of pick your flavor a little bit, I guess, it's like if you like that, if you think that's the best way, you can watch that. But yeah, I don't know, the 7-minute gi matches did seem a little too easy to like hunker down for that 7 minutes.
Because even in at Who's Number 129, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit in the main event, Wagner versus Kit, it's like it was awesome to see Wagner kind of really dominate the kind of first half of the match, or first 2/3 of the match. But it definitely felt like just a better match that Kit came back and he scored a takedown and he was on top and he was working for passes and stuff like that. So you did get to see kind of both sides of the coin, and you got to see them what it looks like when guys are pushing the pace, in that 14th minute of the match. And Kit was really having success late in the match, and you don't really see that in Wagner matches. I feel like usually Wagner is the guy who's pushing the pace latest. But Kit kind of turned the tables a little bit there. So that match, actually, I thought ended up turning out to be a really great match. It wasn't quite sure. Two veterans, two guys who like to stand, who like to play on top, how that was going to look. But overall, I was really excited about this match and how it turned out. Kit looked great. Wagner looked great.
Yeah, we can go into this, start getting into some of the WNO recap and everything. So obviously this is the main event, Kit versus Wagner. Here you see Wagner trying to run him into the crowd. I think his intention was run him off the mats, get him in that VRMA crew, and then just stomp him out.
yeah, get Achilles in there. And
yeah, just take him into the
grabbing the referee WWE style, turning him so he's looking at him.
Oh no, Gabriel Martinez is out. No. There's no one to call stop. But yeah, here you see him kind of like takedown attempt that got a little funky here,
Here
and
you
Wagner.
see Trey with his camera.
Yeah, I'm just right there. I'm not even recording. I forgot to hit record. Ah, dang, dude, foiled again.
That would have been a sick clip.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going around, man, guys, I almost had that one, dude. If I would have hit record.
But yeah, man, this is a fun event overall. Our first time in Miami, Florida. I felt like the Miami crowd really showed out, especially for Wagner and Roosevelt and the Sains brothers. The Alpha Miami crew was big. The VRMA crew was big. So really fun vibe in the venue for you guys who weren't there. Definitely felt like the Miami crowd showed out and was supporting their own. So that was really great. So I hope we definitely go back to this Miami scene again. It's such a fun scene of jiu-jitsu that doesn't get the shine. Normally it's so much about Brazil and California and stuff like that, but Miami scene is dope.
Definitely, dude. No, it was just like, even just walking around that area in Miami, I was like, man, Miami's way cooler than I kind of had previously thought or didn't really realize.
Yeah, a lot of just random people asking us if we did jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. So there's definitely a lot of just combat sports athletes, MMA fighters and stuff like that. Everybody's kind of in the loop in Miami. So yeah, I can't wait to go back.
Yeah, we were.
This is so funny, by the way. He starts just smothering Kit from top, just from inside the half.
And Kit just takes it all. Kit like never really addresses.
Dude, that was one of my thoughts after this was like, obviously, like, we know Kit's a beast, and like at this point he's probably underrated for how good he is, because he's like, was out of the scene for so long and he came back, and he does have some of the best passing in jiu-jitsu, I feel like, especially we saw it against Shanji, but could be a little underrated. But the thing that I was like, wow, Kit's gritty as hell. Like, Kit can just like endure pretty much any of this stuff that like Wagner usually breaks guys with, and just kind of like does it with a smile in his like nonchalant style, even on the mat, and just like keeps going throughout the whole match. And that's kind of why you saw late he was able to kind of like get some stuff going, where most guys like you said, Wagner wins those later minutes. That's where Wagner kind of shines and like really breaks dudes. But Kit was just kind of like, yeah, I can roll with all these punches, and eventually I'll do my thing.
I like this grip here that he has on the ankle here too, to prevent him from really standing up too.
Yeah. Stuck there.
Yeah, it's a brutal position. It's not where you want to be against Wagner. Hosha.
We got to talk about this move Wagner was trying to call his shot on it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't know if he's done it yet. It's whenever
I think it's late.
He comes back on top and is trying to pass. Eventually we'll get there and we can talk about it. But you got something, Joe?
Yeah, something I want to point out that I just think, we talk about the toughness of Wagner and the mental toughness, how mentally tough it was for him to come out to this match, considering for the co-main event, he was in the corner when he watched his daughter get her foot twisted up by Adele. Jasmine tapped out, and her foot was not in the best shape. She's okay. She's going to be fine. But like, man, he had a little
injury.
Yeah. He had like 5 minutes to like go from that to like, okay, now it's time for me to head out there. And he was still able to do it. What a Spartan.
Yeah.
Here it is. So
He was drilling this beforehand, right?
Wagner kind of backstage, he pulled me over and he's like, hey, film this because this is what I'm going to try and get him with. And if I get it, I want it to go viral. And it was this move where he knew, obviously, Kit was going to do like a Sao Paulo pass from the close guard here. And he had this move where he would like wrap around his head and then kind of like I think he locks his hands and then he puts the thumb across and does this like weird.
Yeah, roll it back just a
It's almost like not a no-gi baseball bat choke, but
It's like in the same ballpark, but mixed with like kind of like just like a Vader choke, like you said.
And yeah, I think it's like we kind of have an angle from the back in a lot of this, but like in the venue and everything, like this looked on. This,
100%.
It's on right now.
Yeah, like
Kit said at the end it was very on too.
yeah.
Well, I like right afterwards, Wagner was backstage doing an interview, and I saw him. I was like, "Man, you almost had him with it." And he said, "Almost. That shit was on, dude. He almost went out." And I was like, "Well, Wagner, he didn't go out. So I don't know." But then talking to Kid afterwards, we saw him in the hotel, and he was like, "Oh yeah, dude, I almost went out twice."
Yeah, he's like, my neck is sore right now.
Then Wagner was doing it to me and stuff, and it literally just feels like you have concrete wrapped around your neck. Like I was like, I don't know if this is a legitimate move unless you're Wagner. Like unless you're just made of concrete and just like whatever. Should we do some carpet jiu-jitsu? Should I hit Slack with this or something? Slack, you weren't there to see it.
I'm good. I was watching the broadcast.
Slack doesn't want to feel it. All right.
I'll feel it. You want to?
Yeah,
You want to do some carpet jiu-jitsu? All right.
We haven't done carpet jiu-jitsu in a while. It's about time.
I'll.
Yeah. Trey won't kill me.
No, I will.
Okay.
I will kill you. Reed's been really mad at me lately. For everyone watching at home, I don't know what is
We have a bit of
what's
a
been
beef
going
going
on,
on.
but Reed's been super mad at me, and this is payback. You want to try and put the mic down here?
I'll try to mic it.
All right. So he goes into close guard. We're breaking down Wagner's technique for him right here. He goes into close guard, all right, and he starts getting head control. But then he turns his hips to Sao Paulo pass, and when he goes here, he like traps him, and then he sees. I don't know exactly how he does his hands. I think it might be like this, but then he loops the
Thumb?
Yeah, he loops the thumb under like this, and then like you keep trying to pass. Is that actually tight?
That was tight.
Nice, dude. This might be the new move. So Reed's trying to pass. Oh, he's trying so hard. Now you're stuck. And I just freaking... Oh, that's so sick, dude. Hey, do that to your boss at work. Anybody watching from home right now, go up to your boss and be like, hey, I want to show you a cool jiu-jitsu move, and then just freaking hit him with that.
Dude, that is brutal. That definitely like hurts my neck.
Yeah, no. Whenever Wagner was showing it to me backstage afterwards, he's like, you want to feel it? And I was like, sure, I guess. I didn't really want to, but, when Wagner says he's going to show a move, you got to oblige. But, like, it's weird because, and I don't even know if I was really doing it to you as much, but, like, he doesn't just, like, choke with it. He, like, was bending my neck over where I was like, dude, my neck might break.
I can't believe you weren't tapping when Wagner was showing it to you.
Well, I always, like, when someone's showing a technique, I always try to, like, freaking last it longer so they can really show it. Yeah, it's, like, kind of like, even with the Adam thing, there's a minute in the Adam Fix My Game where it looks like I'm going to go out because I'm like, well, I got to kind of let him, like, show this off a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do like to push it to the limits.
Yeah, because,
For
like...
no reason.
Even when the cameras aren't out.
Yeah, for no reason.
Because when Wagner was doing it on you and like you weren't tapping or anything like that, and I was just like, okay, so maybe it's kind of like a you can almost get it, or it's like an almost choke, or it's like something that's just like terrible to deal with. But feeling you do it to me right there, it was just like
Was it
no,
actually tight?
It was actually choking me for sure.
Wow, that's crazy. Was it like, was I pulling on your neck kind of as a crank also at all?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. That's one of those where I've never tried that. That was the first time I've done it, but I was like, I don't know if this actually chokes or not. That's crazy to hear.
No,
It really does.
Yeah, I would tap to that for sure.
Perfect.
that was on. That was on.
Perfect, dude. I finally found one to get Reed with.
Yeah. For when
If
I go for
someone
my
did that
Sao
to you-
Paulo passes.
If someone did that to you in the gym, though, is that like you just chill or you having a good time after
I'd be
that?
super upset.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like I'd be upset with, like, especially if I'm going for a pass like that and they catch me like that.
It's kind of like a punch choke, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like an open palm.
yeah. It's like you definitely are like crushing both sides
Yeah.
of my.
It's general neck crush.
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't be mad depending on the skill level of the other person. I
Yeah.
feel like if it was like another good guy, I actually wouldn't get that mad.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it was like a horrible white belt, blue belt kind of level guy, just like who's just getting, not going well for him probably, and he's just like now just resorting to punching my neck.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Well,
We can go there too.
It's a little weird because it isn't full punch, right?
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah.
like, I mean, you do have it
little
locked
of both.
in, but it's like almost more of just a straight up Vader choke with like this weird baseball bat kind of pressure. Like, honestly, dude, I hope my brother's watching right now. My brother watches our show a lot. White belt, you know, we've talked about my brother if you guys have watched this show before. And this dude's obsessed with no-gi baseball bat chokes. One time we went to a gym and I was just like, yeah, start with it fully locked. And he was like, dude, I will put you out. And I was like, okay. And so we went to 10th Planet Austin and he starts with a fully locked baseball bat choke. And I just kind of posted and just got out over and over. He thought I knew some crazy secret. And I was like, the secret is that doesn't work in no-gi. But like this variation, try this one, Zach. If you're watching at home, make sure and try this one. Do it to my niece Zoe. Do it to her. She's like 12. Just do this to her until you figure it out. And like go ahead and add that little thumb technique and finish it.
That like strong thumb, like it doesn't feel like it would do a whole lot, but that strong thumb, I could feel it for sure.
Do I feel like concrete or no?
How hard do I feel, bro?
Like liquid limestone.
Oh shit, dude! I'm that Zoltan. That Zoltan Castle. They invented new walls over at Zoltan's house, liquid limestone. But yeah, so I don't know. That was a cool move. Everyone try that at home. Do it to your least favorite training partner. A quick story about a lower belt kind of doing something like that, where I was in a situation where
don't point at me like I'm that lower belt. No, I know what you mean.
But there was a dude I was training with, and he was just nonstop going for punch chokes. Like I think it was like they were showing punch chokes or something, but he kept getting me in like a punch choke situation, but he was punching into my jaw. And I have jaw problems already. Like my jaw's pretty messed up. And he kept punching into my jaw. And it was like, and he just wouldn't stop. And I was like, finally I tapped and I was like, bro, you're going to break my jaw. But I was kind of mad. And so he was like, well, it's a legit technique. And I was like, okay, no problem. And so like I passed him, got to mount, and then I got a cross choke. But instead of putting it under his chin, I just did it across his face. And I was like, that's a legit technique too. I just did it poorly to you and it hurt you really badly. I felt kind of bad afterwards because I was being really mean. I just cross choked across his face intentionally. And I don't really recommend that. That's something I've had to deal with personally, and I've had to overcome me losing my cool in that situation. So that's a cautionary tale.
We're all bettering ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And we got better because of it.
But yeah, no, shout out Wagner. Obviously, he got it done.
Yeah, great match.
Put on a show for the people in Miami. A lot of talking going on during that match. Wagner was talking to Kit, talking to the crowd. He was talking to Dima in Kit's corner. Jasmine was talking to Kit from that corner. No one corners like the Hoshas. The Hoshas will just talk to the opponent and not be like saying anything about jiu-jitsu. They'll just say like, Kit, your mustache looks dumb. Like, it's like, what? What is going on? But, you know, they have their own style.
They always say, he's tired. He's tired now.
Yeah. There's always a lot of honesty in it, too. You know what I mean? It's like the only reason he's trying really hard right now is because he doesn't think he can win late. You're going to be okay. Just survive for like 20 seconds. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, fuck.
Yeah.
How do I know that?
And I feel like it usually works really well, but against Kit Dale, it feels like Kit was just shrugging everything off, just laughing everything off, you know.
Like I remember one point Jasmine was like, he's not smiling anymore. He's freaking done. He's not smiling. And then Kit just starts smiling real big. But so, yeah, shout out Wagner getting it done there. The crowd was electric the whole time. You brought up the crowd a little bit already. The Signs father, the patriarch of the Signs clan, he's got like 5 of these guys running around just murdering dudes on the jiu-jitsu mats. I looked over at the side one point and there was a whole Alpha Miami crew, and the father Signs was just in the middle of them just like dancing, doing the cha-cha during like one of the commercial breaks. Like they had some music playing in video and he was just like going nuts and everyone was cheering and yelling, and I was like, wow, what an electric atmosphere. I got to get in on this dance circle right now. But so obviously we got to talk about Jasmine and Adele also. This was obviously one of the biggest matches on the card, one of the biggest matches we could make in the women's division, and kind of ended up in a little bit of a shootout here. Could have went either way, right?
I think so. I think that, I was surprised to see Jasmine not go to the shootout like super quick. She kind of came up and like acted like she was going to pass, and then she was like, nah, I'm a shooter. Shooters got to shoot. And she sits back into the leg, and Adele repummels, ends up with this Aoki that she is such a killer with.
These are both on, right?
Yeah, I think both people are getting some serious
damage. Adele even said afterwards that her footlock was on, or that Jasmine's was on her foot, you know, so she felt like she needed to rip extra hard because Jasmine had a legit attempt at her foot too. So ended up being a little bit of a spooky situation.
Devastating for the camera to just go right on Wagner. Actually.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
What are we doing, guys?
Us here in content, we're not in charge of that.
Yeah.
I just want to put that out there right now. Yeah, I feel that too. But Jasmine, later that night, we saw her at a pizza place getting a slice with Adele. Clearly no bad blood there. Everybody's still good pals. So it's all just fighting, right?
Yeah, take it back, or I guess we're going to see
A little
the
replay here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just just goes to show you know that Adele has just a lethal straight ankle lock right here, and she doesn't really even have her legs tangled up. She's doing that thing that kind of Liz Clay.
Yeah. That was my thought too. Is like this is very much in the vein of the Liz Clay, the way she showed us of keeping both knees inside.
Yeah, and just kind of like flaring her knees out and flaring her Jasmine's knee out
To like kind of pin it there with the knee on the inside.
Yeah.
Gabby Pisagna was hitting that as well. She's hit that at Nogi Worlds, I believe, on maybe BSM actually.
Yeah, it's like if you got just like a lethal bite like that, just like moving the knees to the inside feels like it just helps just that much more, and it feels like some real intense breaking pressure.
Well, man, if Adele can hit it and Gabby Pisagna can hit it, then I feel like body type is not dictating success. You know what I mean? Those are two pretty different kind of athletes there. But nothing but respect and love between mommy and daddy. Mommy and daddy have made up.
Yeah,
Back together.
so we all felt good about that.
Fun to see. But man, what a killer with Adele.
In the background.
Adele is just the best in the world. You know, she really is, and she goes out there and continues to prove it. Obviously she had a match with Jasmine before, but this one looked a little bit different, but still had this kind of same result. And I just think that just goes to show you that we have not still seen the best Adele Fornarino. She's still getting better. She's obviously in the CJI bracket with some of the best girls in the world as well. And I think her stock has to go up for that bracket too.
1,000,000%.
Does that change anything, keep anything the same for you guys of how you see this female bracket potentially playing out?
It's definitely good momentum. And I like seeing Adele be able to move up to like 135. She came in at 132. That's the heaviest I've ever seen her. It's honestly a little heavier than I thought she could come in. I thought she would like kind of cap out in the high 20s. I think by the time she gets to CJI, it's probably a little bit more even. Probably not too much more, you know what I mean? But like a little bit.
135.
Yeah, 135-ish. And, obviously thought she was a killer coming in. Still think she's a killer, but I just like seeing that she's able to put on that kind of size that's going to be impactful in this bracket.
Yeah, it's just like Adele is so damn good at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's like there's like nothing else around it. Like we did kind of talk about that some, like would the 135 make a difference, would it not? And it's like, yeah, no, she's just super good at jiu-jitsu, no matter the weight, anything. And I've been thinking more about that bracket, and I think Helena or Sarah Galvao definitely have the potential to like shake anything up. They are just so young, and so there's going to be such a big stage for them. And like, really, I feel like Anna Carolina is also so good at jiu-jitsu that it's like, I don't know how this.
Anna Carolina's probably been training like 10 years longer than all of them, to be honest.
Yeah, straight up.
So it's like she just has that veteran mentality where it's just like she's going to be hard to do anything against. It's going to be hard to win a close match against her. She's got those types of things locked up. So, yeah, Anna's going to be a problem in that bracket.
When it does come to like 3 5-minute rounds as well, I do feel like Adele kind of possesses that kind of like flash submission nature that it might take to win in a 5-minute round, because obviously 15 minutes for sure. Anna Carolina, I feel like, is like, she knows what to do in that situation, like at ADCC finals or something, longer time where she can just like pace somebody, wear them out. But it's like Adele does kind of have that, like even if you take the 2 matches against Jasmine, quick choi bar, quick straight ankle, just kind of like it gets on and then it stays on and she like finishes. Whereas like, that could bode itself to be beneficial in a 3 5-minute round where it's like if you can't finish it, like once you get something, well, they're going to get to reset and you're going to have to come back out on your feet, where it's like Adele does possess the power to kind of like end it there, and it's just that be done. So I don't know, might be beneficial.
I don't know if I consider Anna Carolina the favorite. I don't know who I consider the favorite because I'm not sure how I would consider that. The Anna Carolina Helena match at ADCC was very close. It was essentially decided because Anna Carolina had a marked advantage in the wrestling. That's not going to be a factor here.
True.
You know what I mean? So that result, I can't take that as like, well, Anna Carolina is better than Helena. Is like, okay, but under that rule set, you know what I mean? Whereas they're allowed to so up in the air. Yeah,
they're allowed to pull guard.
They don't have to stand up.
That's
I think
right.
we said it last week.
Joe wants them to slide into the pit.
Slide in. These people stand up and then sit back down. You're wasting time, bro. Stay sitting.
Wasting energy.
The first athlete to never stand.
Never stand up. Chris Wojcik, I know you were a friend of the podcast. I know you have the series Don't Stand Up. live the gimmick. Don't stand up.
For sure.
Ever.
But
Even when you're getting your hand raised.
If there's a photo, Chris Wojcik, of you at CJI2 standing up in the pit, I think you failed your gimmick.
Yeah, if you win, raise your hand seated.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be so awesome. It's just every photo, they're just sitting down. Oh, man. That would be legendary. But another big match was obviously the 205 contender match. Ryan Aken versus Roberto Jimenez. What did you guys think about this match?
Man, you just, like, if you do jiu-jitsu, you have to spend some time with Roberto Jimenez. You just have to, like, at some point, especially
Seminar.
Seminar, tournament, training, you know, go out to get lunch with him. Like, the energy that is just exuding off of Roberto Jimenez in the hours and days before a big match like this is just something to behold. He genuinely has this crazy aura about him that is just, like, hard to put your finger on.
Spiritual.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but, like, he's doing something right, to be honest, you know, so we could all probably learn a little bit more about our spirituality from Roberto Jimenez. So just like on a general level, man, Roberto was vibing all weekend there. And, you know, the press conference was very revealing for this match. You know, we saw how really serious that Ryan Aken is taking this match, the biggest match of his career. He'd been training for it for 2 months. You know, he was really putting together a game plan for Roberto Jimenez. And obviously Roberto takes every match deadly serious. So it was no different for him as well. And, you know, like we've been saying, these are two of the best light heavyweights in the world. And we saw them kind of like in their peak or while they're peaking here, you know, and
really working their games too. Like that sequence right there, they really 100%. Both like, you kind of saw them both play their game there where he's working for the sweep, really like almost gets you here, transitions to the legs, and Roberto uses it as a chance to attack the back. Yeah,
it was definitely a moment where I was like, okay, let's see. Ryan's got a little bit of a look at the legs here, but Roberto's got a little look at the back.
Teleporting.
And that's all he needs is just like this, the slightest bit of your back exposure, and like Roberto is going to find a way to like hunt it, you know? And I think it's pretty much a similar type of exchange, right? Where he eventually does take the back off of a leg entanglement, right? Or is this something different?
Yeah, he definitely takes the back. I forget exactly.
Might have been off a pass, and Ryan started to turtle up a little bit.
I think that's, yeah.
But there was like multiple times that he took the back as well. Roberto just looks so incredible. He's been on such an incredible run throughout this. Ryan, I thought, looked really good, like we've been talking about. Still love Ryan. Still think he's one of the absolute best 205-pounders in the world. But Roberto is just on that level right now.
Yeah. And the press conference was pretty funny, too. Like they were talking about they'd trained together a couple times in the past, and they were talking about that. And then they were talking about their love for anime. They got a little heated on the Luffy versus Goku debate. So that was fun to see. It felt like there was a little extra on the line here.
You guys hip to this at all? Joe, you know Goku and Luffy?
I know who these people are, yes.
Who would you have picked before the match?
I picked Goku. I'm a Dragon Ball guy. I'm not so much a One Piece guy. One Piece has like so many episodes. And that's a crazy thing to say when you compare it to Dragon Ball, which also has a bajillion episodes. But they're both based off of the same ancient Chinese character. So ultimately, you're just kind of drawn from the same well off the same interpretation. Who would win in a fight? It's a book. Whoever wrote it decides.
Slack, are you hip to these guys?
I mean, I know who Goku is. I'm not a One Piece guy.
I think One Piece is Diogo Hayes' favorite anime.
No, Gio Martinez is big on One Piece.
It's a very popular one. It's super popular.
I was at an anime type store in Brazil once, and Diogo showed me a shirt from One Piece that featured a female, and I realized why it's Diogo's favorite anime. I don't know if he cares about this Luffy Goku debate, but I sure do know why he likes One Piece now. That's for sure.
One Piece, more like Two Piece, bro.
Yeah. I thought a funny thing about this is like, so obviously the decision is going to go in Roberto's way at this point. Roberto knows it. He goes back over to his corner. There's like a little break while they watch the replay before the athletes get their hand raised. And every single person in Roberto's corner is exclusively talking about Goku. Like they're all yelling at him like, no, dude, remind him about Goku. Tell him about Goku. In the interview, say something about Goku.
They take it personal.
Dude, and Roberto's just like, no, I got him, bro. I got this. I'm Goku won. He's all amped up. And then, he brought up.
Yeah, Roberto wanted to win more for Goku than himself, I feel like, at that point.
The comment section on the Instagram thing was so funny because like all the comments that are in English were like kind of split 50-50. all of the comments in Spanish and in Portuguese were so pro Goku for whatever reason. Goku es el mejor de mundo.
Yeah.
Not even a debate.
Yeah. I think this main character from Kengan Ashura, it's the only anime I've ever seen, he would kill them both. So freaking anime guys.
Don't tell Roberto.
Anime guys, what's up, dude? I'm freaking
Roberto's about to stunt on you,
I
bro.
forgot his name, but he would kill them both.
Guy from One Punch just kills him with one punch. That's his gimmick. He wins every fight with one punch.
That's pretty hard to beat. That's pretty hard to beat, dude. That's my new favorite guy that has the heavy hands division here at FloGrappling, you know. But so yeah, Roberto obviously ended up getting it done in the post-match interview. He obviously, he's been seeing the Mika post and the Pedro post about a potential Pedro versus Mika 205 match. Roberto respectfully wasn't into it. He said, it's his time. He deserves the 205 title shot. I think I agree with him.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like,
I agree. Would love to see Roberto versus Pedro. Absolutely.
It's just a match that makes sense. It's like, obviously Mika already has 2 of the belts. You can wait a little longer to get your shot at the third, in my opinion. You could probably defend one of the other belts, or both of them same night. I don't know.
170 is a real busy division, brother. We could find something there for sure. I think I'm going to rank Roberto number 1 at 205 pounds. Yeah. I think when I look at his resume...
Drop Pedro?
And put Pedro number 2, even though Pedro's been so impressive. Even Pedro's work over the weekend was up kind of at an absolute. Beating guys like Fabricio isn't going to affect your ranking at 205 pounds. Beating a guy like Yatan Bueno is not 205 pounds. But I look
you don't take that into account at all? Just like even like
it does get a little bit.
Okay.
And part of that is I look at their shared result against Ryan Aken. Right, because I do think that common opponent matters. They both have a big win over Giancarlo Bodoni. If we're going to count impressiveness and style points, which can matter a little bit to these things, Roberto put up like 13 points on Giancarlo. It was a very close, chippy match when Pedro beat Giancarlo. The Elder win, the Ryan Aken win, he's got like 4 wins this year in the top 10, whereas Pedro has not been nearly as active in the 205-pound division. Last one was over Isaac, who is in the top 10, but is also a 185er. Then he lost to Isaac at Aiga. Not great. So I think when I look at just like where things are right now, I think Roberto is fighting like the number 1 guy, and I think Pedro kind of needs to reestablish that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think either way for sure. I want to see this match now. It's got me excited. Obviously, Pedro and Roberto coming off big weekends. Pedro winning the BJJ Stars Grand Prix was huge. Obviously, looked great. Roberto getting this win over Ryan, he looked great as well. So, I mean, it makes sense. Hopefully we can get this one booked and have a 205 title match here soon. Potentially Roberto Pedro if it can happen. Other things to shout out or talk about from WNO. Slack's queuing up Joselyn Molina here. So we posted this match and I saw some comments that were like, why is this even happening? It's like, it's a little weird. I'll be honest, a 13-year-old taking on a 38-year-old, but that's not unheard of in the jiu-jitsu world. That's like to be honest, it's like, that's kind of like the way this sport works, is like this child superstar does start taking out like adult black belts, and that is how they built their name. Like Mika did it. Mika submitted a black belt whenever he was a blue belt. That was like kind of broke his arm, like legitimately broke it. That was kind of one of the first like big Mika moments. Cole Abate has some huge matches from whenever he was under 18, Gio Martinez obviously being a big one whenever he was
Nicky Ryan as well.
It's like that is kind of the way of the sport. 13 is nuts. Like I will say, that's like
crazy.
A little extreme nuts, but obviously she delivered and made it took any of the doubt away. Like for one, she's like a very big 13-year-old. I think she came in at like 150 pounds. Yeah, she competes in the heavyweight division already as a 13-year-old, but you saw if you want to go back there to that submission, she ended up finishing the Ruotolotine here.
Yeah, probably the sickest submission of the night. Or maybe Adele's was a little sicker, but
I mean, she's already nodding her head. She knows she must hit this all the time in training.
Yeah. You can see my shoe there. I was right there. I would have had a great shot if I hit record.
No, you did get a really good shot of that. You hit record on that one.
Okay,
I saw it.
Damn it. Could have sworn I stopped recording. But yeah, Joselyn looked incredible, and I am just excited to see like where her career goes from here, because like I know she's been doing a lot of the ADCC Opens. I feel like that's really where she's been making her name for herself. She's fought some pretty high-level people in the ADCC Opens and everything, but now it's kind of like she's had her Who's Number One debut, got the finish. It's like, I don't know, she could just her stardom could just keep going and growing, and she has a lot of years to she has 5 more years before she's 18, so.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about like who's going to dethrone Gabby Pisania here in the future, and it's like, man, maybe Joselyn Molina is the one. Like,
Sure.
Obviously she's got several years till she makes it to that level, but she's a good bet, to be honest.
Definitely, dude.
If I could, we were kind of talking about how there's like some parallels between how Roberto and Pedro both had great weekends. Joselyn had a little bit of a counter parallel at BJJ Stars with Livia Barracini, Melky's girl, who just got her purple belt over there. She went double gold Grand Slam throughout the year. Absolutely dominant BJJ Stars. I think that this is definitely a girl who we're going to be seeing in the Black Belt World Finals sooner rather than later. It reminds me a little bit of Joselyn. But even she's like 3 years older than her. Joselyn's age, her physical maturity, her emotional maturity. She has a great support system behind her. It looks like she's going to be at the ADCC trials, which is crazy. She's only 13. Usually I think you have to be like at least like 15 or 16 to get into the trials. But they're making a special allowance for her to be able to participate, and she's gonna win matches. She's gonna be there on day 2 of that tournament. I would be very, very surprised if she's not. And I could see her placing. You look at, I was
If not winning, potentially.
If not winning, potentially. I was going through her list of wins. She beat 3 girls who were on the Black Belt World Podium last year for IBJJF No-Gi Worlds, including like people who were in the finals. So she's right there, and she is. You talk about rate of improvement. Who's going to be improving at a faster rate between now and trials than Joselyn Molina?
For sure, dude. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if she comes out and just wins trials somehow. Imagine.
And if somebody ever offers me a match against a 13-year-old on who's number 1, no. The answer is no.
It's a no-win situation. It's a no-win situation.
Yeah, no, that one's tough for sure. That's like, I mean, we joked about it a lot in the Road to Worlds. Like when you show up and the whole class is juvenile blue belts, like that's worst case scenario. You are screwed.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Juvenile blue belts training for the world championships.
Yeah.
Ah, damn.
Give me masters blue belts. That's what you need. You don't need juvenile blue belts. That's a bad situation.
Yeah.
And if I do, from now on, I'm hitting him with that Wagner choke, dude. Crush those little windpipes. That's my new game.
Those little undeveloped windpipes.
Yeah. I'm going to stunt some growth. Yeah. But anything else from this one? Obviously, shout out Roosevelt Souza. Got the submission win over Fat Ninja.
Jay-Z Cavalcante having a good time out there.
Yeah. His walkout was 8 minutes long. These dudes.
And they cut him off early.
Yeah.
For all I know, he's still walking out.
Yeah. Some of these athletes found a cheat code. Due to copyright issues, usually we try to keep the walkout music somewhat short, so it doesn't play too long and get copyright struck, whatever. But they found a cheat code. If you just don't walk out, they keep playing your music. So if you really like your song you picked, just walk slow as hell, dude, and they'll keep playing it. Jay-Z Cavalcante, I swear, I looked over, I was like, oh, sick, Jay-Z Cavalcante's coming out. And then I was like, okay, I'll go over here. And then I look out, and he's like, okay, he's still walking out. He's doing a little dance now. Now his son's in the mix. So definitely some showmanship there for the Miami crowd from Jay-Z Cavalcante. Who else had submission wins, right? There were 4 of them?
Yeah, just Joselyn, Adele, Roosevelt, and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got the 4 subs there. Lucas Lira got the win over Sean Yatamarco. Max Hansen got the dub over Gianni Grippo. So definitely a lot of action. Michael Sains got the win over Natan. I thought that was like a sick match for like a non-scoring decision because I thought Natan's guard looked so good.
Yeah,
it was just like a great display of jiu-jitsu, to be honest. And Michael Sains did just relentlessly keep a pressure on him and keep passing and keep trying the outside passing stuff. But Natan did show a really incredible guard. So I thought it was a great showing from both of those guys. But Michael obviously got the win.
I was surprised. I know Natan in the gi, we've seen him display a really great guard, but after so much wrestling at the No-Gi Pans, I thought that he would end up wrestling a little bit more. I thought it was a real show of respect to Michael and his pedigree and what he was able to do in that Daniel Sadler match, for example, that he would just come out and concede and pull. Natan has one of the most difficult guards to pass, I think, in the division. This really kind of reinforced that for me in a way where I didn't really consider that beforehand, but it's going to be next to nobody passing Natan Chuang's guard.
Definitely. He actually kind of mentioned afterwards, he said that he wished he would have wrestled more. He kind of just
me too.
We talked about that, yeah. And he's like, next time I'll throw down on the wrestling. But, obviously you get on a stage like who's number 1 in your debut too, and you're like, let me just lock in on what I know I can trust and rely on. And especially against someone like Michael, who is like a state champion wrestler and stuff. So
Absolutely.
So a bunch of other good events. You had Pan Kids on there. We had Finishers.
Long Island Jiu-Jitsu.
Long Island Jiu-Jitsu Network had an event.
PGF going on.
PGF had an event last week as well. So if you
Some nuts submissions. There's a highlight reel for PGF's week 1 submissions. That's definitely worth it because there was like 3 submissions that you just never see, including a full Nelson for the tap, which was crazy. It was crazy.
That's nuts. Is that allowed?
It happened.
Hey, Slag, do you got those notes from the Sub Hunter draft? Let's see if anybody had these.
yeah.
totally forgot about we did Sub Hunter draft.
Probably going to be like whoever had Adele versus Jasmine is going to win. Yes, because
So
that was the only
that was
one.
in the first period. Joselyn versus Amy was in the second, third, I think.
Well, because it's 9 minutes.
It's 9 minutes. So
All
it
right,
was in
so Reed had Jay-Z and Roosevelt.
Oh,
That's gonna be
That's a win. That's a
the
win.
have to be.
Ooh.
I
That's
had
like 4-ish points.
Adele,
Oh, okay.
So that's
Michael
5, though.
Sainz, and Jocelyn Molina.
I thought it was
That's
three.
all the
I thought it was
submissions.
just 3-2-1.
continued.
I thought it was 5-3-1.
Okay.
Was it 3-2-1?
So me and Trey went unscoring. It sounds
And
like.
the rest of y'all ain't got shit.
Dang.
Damn.
So it's
Real
definitely
boys.
Slack, though. Jocelyn and Adele.
You had Jocelyn?
And Adele.
Okay, Slack one.
Dang,
one.
dude.
Slack one.
All right, Slack. You get.
Give it up for
Yeah,
Slack,
give it up for
Slacky
Slack.
B.
We got a prize.
Can't teach that.
Slack, there's a lot of
Oh,
exciting stuff. Oh, nice. Slack, there's a lot of exciting
Yeah.
stuff happening in your life right now. I don't think anything more exciting than this.
Nothing's better than this trophy right here.
Yeah, first place.
Read it and weep.
There it is.
Nice, dude.
And you get to hold that until the next WNO.
Yeah, first
Hey,
place.
seriously, Slack. Good job.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to
Congratulations.
keep it right here on my shelf.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
Great job.
Yeah.
Great job, Slag.
But that's pretty much all the recap and everything. I think the last thing we should probably touch on real quick is the announcement of Mika Galvao joining the New Wave team for CJI. Obviously, that's a huge one.
And the announcement that ADCC 2026 will be back on FloGrappling. We did have a couple announcements during the Who's Number One broadcast. Yeah, Mika going out there against on Team New Wave, which is kind of crazy. And that Team New Wave is just stacked now, like crazy. But just the thought of seeing Mika against Nicky Rod and Mika against Felipe Pena or something like that. The thought of that, has
Dante.
Yeah, the thought of that has me salivating for sure. Think that's an incredible addition to the CGI brackets already, but then obviously just super pumped that we'll be out there in Poland for ADCC 2026 and back on that ADCC grind, which is going to be crazy. Trials are coming up here in September, and so the ADCC train is about to get rolling.
Definitely, dude. You see,
Also, Atos announced their team this morning with the addition of Ronaldo, Lucas Barboza, and Kainan Duarte as well. We have all 40 athletes from CJI2. The rosters are set. They are complete. We know who's going to be in the bracket. Obviously, some people might, drop and be added on. That's probably inevitable, to be perfectly honest. But the initial rosters are set for CJI2.
gonna be crazy, dude. These teams are definitely legit. Maybe we got to figure out some fun thing to do with like picking teams or something, or drafting athletes. I don't know.
Yeah,
we got to find some fun way of doing that for the show. Some way the fans can play along at home. So if you got ideas, let us know in the comments. We'll figure something out. But yeah, Mika in the mix is nutso. You see all these not to get into the drama stuff too much, but you see all these like Mika posts about Marigali and kind of that history, and it's like it gotta be a little weird, right? Gotta be a little weird. Now he's on Team New Wave.
Yeah.
I don't know. Definitely it's something weird there, but like definitely seems sick. I'm sure they're glad to have him.
Hope we see Mika Marigali in the future here too. That would be incredible.
100%. But like you said, also ADCC, officially announced and everything for going to be on FloGrappling. So it's always great having ADCC. Some of the most fun I've had in all of my life happens at ADCC events, whether it's trials or worlds. It's always just such an electric thing to be part of. So stoked for all of that, but I think that's going to do it for this episode. Let us know kind of what you were watching this weekend, what maybe we missed something. Let us know in the comments, but as always, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.